Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Average Movie Review podcast. Apologies, I have been sick for the last couple of weeks, and things have been a little tough, so I haven't been able to post in a while. So I thought I'd post first by reviewing episodes 4, 5, and 6 of The Seven Kingdoms, or The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and yeah. For anyone who gives a shit and still listens to this crap, welcome back. And for anyone who doesn't, well, I hope you will one day. So, this show, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, has been quite possibly, if not the best show Game of Thrones has ever produced, HBO has ever produced, in my opinion. It is probably the best spin-off, even better than House of Dragons. It's only 30 minutes, and it's absolutely incredible. The actors, Dexter, Matt, they all deserve Emmys for all their portrayals in this entire show. They are phenomenal. Dexter, if he does not win an Emmy, an Oscar, an ESPY, whatever the hell awards there are, we riot because this kid is absolutely amazing. Holy crap, such an amazing actor for such a little kid. Like, truly a prodigy. He does such a phenomenal job bringing Egg onto screen. Um, let's start with episode 4. It's pretty much apologies. Oh, that was bad. The big reveal after we find out that Egg is actually Aemon Targaryen, and he's a Targaryen, and then Dunk is distraught. He's in jail. Baylor presents him with an idea of doing the trial of 7, right, in order for him to escape death instead of, giving up a hand and a leg. Arion agrees. The relationship between Dunk and Egg has kind of soured at this point because Dunk feels like he's been betrayed. He feels like, he was lied to by Egg, and Egg explains to him why he does what he does because he kind of had no choice. Which, again, I understand coming from a kid's perspective. It's probably very tough to kind of navigate through this, but he's a very wise kid. You see that throughout the episodes. Very wise kid, so he kind of knew what he was doing at the same time. So, and then we get to the trial of 7. Egg has recruited so many people from Lionel Baratheon to Raymond Fossoway, all of these knights that are willing to fight for Dunk, but he's short one man, and then Dunk gives the greatest speech in Game of Thrones history. There are no good men in the houses of Westeros, or something like that, and it's absolutely electrifying. People are silent. I think as an audience member, you're silent too because you are so heavily invested. And, guess who shows up to fight for him? And it's Baelor Targaryen, the prince who never was. I think who would have been an amazing king if given the opportunity. But I guess, things happen for a reason, right? He was not king for a reason that happens in episode 5. But yeah, going forward, we're locked in. We're ready for the big fight in episode 5. And that episode is just incredible to watch. Holy crap. From the visuals, the fighting scene itself, to the amazing backstory of us getting a little glimpse into Dunk's childhood, seeing where he came from, what he had to grow up with, how he lost his best friend who he loved so much, who potentially he wanted to make a family with, how he became a squire for Sir Alan, where he met Sir Alan. Sir Alan saved him, and then he followed Sir Alan all the way. Sir Alan did not want a squire, but he allowed Dunk to follow him the entire time. Seeing how much perseverance he has as a person, how dedicated he is, and again, absolutely phenomenal episode. It brings a tear to your eyes. I'm not gonna lie, like, this was Matt's best episode. I think this was his moment, and he shined brightly. Amazing job. But I will say Dexter steals, I think, a moment from all of this when it comes to the point where he's like, "Get up, sir! Get up! Get up!" and then he goes, "Wait!" Wow, chills again, chills. You see, I see the scene all over Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, and every time I see it, I get instant chills because I'm just like, this is what TV is supposed to be like. This is what a good show is. It. There's no music. There's no epic. Like, you know what I mean. There's no CGI. There's no epicness. There's none of that. It's just goddamn great acting, and it makes you feel. And if an actor can make you feel from your screen on how they are, like, make them feel their feelings, and you're able to actually resonate with it, then they've done their job. And Dexter and Matt have done an amazing job. Matt getting up, which looked like he was dead. Sir Alan telling him to get up, right? Like, all of it, just epic, epic to begin with. Like, it shows that Dunk fights for the right reasons. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he never gives up. He does everything he can, and that's why the gods favored him, in my personal opinion. And I think what made him, to me personally, like, I already knew he was a great guy, but I think what really certified him as one of the best knights, and I think honestly one of the best humans in in the entire Game of Thrones universe, was at the end of that episode when he wins. He thanks everyone, and he's like in their debt, and then Baylor comes in, and Baylor tells him, like, take Dunk to my maester or whatever, he'll take care of him. And then they remove the helmet, and Baylor, you could tell that Baylor's head has been smashed in from the mace hit from his brother, and he falls to his death. And Dunk is just holding him and, like, begging that he comes back alive. And he's like, "Sir, I'm in your debt. Get up." Like, he's distraught, absolutely distraught. And he feels so guilty that because of him, he died. Especially somebody as powerful as Baylor was. And it's sad to see, because we all know that potentially if Baylor was alive, then I think the Game of Thrones universe would be very, very different than what it is currently. And maybe that's what George R.R. Martin kind of intended to give us, that idea that what could have been but didn't end up happening, because Baylor's character is one of the best characters I've seen. And he's, again, what makes this show absolutely incredible is this: every episode is maybe 40 minutes long, 30 minutes long, and within those 30 minutes, every character has an impact on the show, and we get to feel for every character. We understand their motives. We understand where they're coming from. There is no, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you could give me an hour episode, but if sometimes in those hour episodes, there's, like, not enough motivation, there's not enough, we don't resonate with the characters. But these guys, within 30 to 40 minutes, have made us fall in love with these characters, made us hate these characters, made us, you know, absolutely adore these characters. And again, kudos to the team, Ira Parker, all of them, but also kudos to the actors for bringing these characters to life as well. And then moving on to the finale, where Lionel Baratheon gives one of the best speeches. Now, I I understand from his point and perspective. The Targaryens are kind of like always revered, and they're always like put up on a pedestal for all the things that they do. And, like, he was trying to show that there were other people there fighting for you, which I think Dunk understands. I think I think Lionel doesn't understand that part, where he's like, I think he does understand that, but I could tell, like, Lionel's, like, fed up with the regime. Like, he's done with all of this, and he's like, "I don't want any of this crap anymore. Like, I don't care." He's like, "You should be mourning the people that died for you, which were the other knights, and the ones that fought for you. You should be proud of that, instead of a man who literally probably the Knights Guard didn't even touch because they were sworn to protect him." Well, and the reality is, it is very possible that that happened because his own brother ended up killing him by accident. But that was the truth, right? So I understand Lionel's perspective, and again, phenomenal job by the actor who gave the speech and everything. But also, like, I think he doesn't understand that Dunk gets that. But for Dunk, it's like, one death. It doesn't matter who the death is. Every death is heavy on him. Every death is too much on him, and he takes the responsibility for everything. And I think that's what makes him the best knight in Westeros. That's why he probably has 4 pages. I read a tweet, somebody said that it's not that Dunk's naive, it's just Dunk thinks that everybody has the same amount of honor that he has. And that you couldn't have put it a better way than that. And that's the reality, that it's not about the fact that, he is um naive. It's just the fact that he thinks that all knights should have the same level of honor that he does, and that's what he brings to the table. And it's sad to see that he doesn't understand that that's not true, because if that were the case, then all knights would be equal and all knights would be great. And to be quite honest, I don't think there'd be any sort of problems in Westeros, but that's not the case. Um, Moving forward, he gets to meet Baylor's son. Again, this character, I don't know too much about him, but he was on screen for like 5 minutes and he literally killed his scene as well. He made you feel for him too. He asked the right questions, like, why would the gods prefer you over my father? How many sons see their father die wearing their armor, and certain questions like that. So again, phenomenal job to the actor, and again to the team for bringing that character to life again. And we get to see a Dunk that's kind of beaten, right? He's questioning everything. And I think for me the biggest thing in this show is just showing how he doesn't give up on himself. He doesn't change himself. He's still the same despite everything that's happened to him. He remains true to himself, and I appreciate that about the character a lot, and I appreciate that. I think they do such a good job at that, and I think the scene stealer for me here is when Egg goes to kill Arion, and once again, I think this certified Dexter as an Emmy nominated actor, and I think, or literally a winner. He should be getting something like at least I don't know, a freaking ESPY, Golden Globe, whatever you want to call it, Emmy, all of it. He deserves every single last bit of it, because he does such an amazing job in that one scene. It's just silent. He's not talking. He's not doing anything. He's just, it's his facial expressions, and it's the way he's crying, and it's the way he realizes that, like, he was just about to go kill his brother and his dad was right there. And he kind of gave up, and he realized that maybe he was becoming what he hated the most, and he was becoming like his brother, and he hated his brother so much. But in that one moment where he saw his dad, and thank God for his dad, that I think he found in his heart to kind of move past it, maybe perhaps even forgive his brother a little bit, and understand that he does not want to become what he hates the most. And again, beautifully well done by Dexter. Such a phenomenal actor. Oh my goodness, man. This kid has stolen my heart. He is so amazing at what he does, and how they couldn't have found anyone better than him. I genuinely believe that. Um, you know, and then, Dunk kind of going back to Dunk, him kind of, rejecting the idea that things should be following him and all of that, and not taking Egg on as a squire and whatnot and all of that as well. Like, again, I understand that whole perspective from Dunk, and seeing all of that. He himself is going through such turmoil, and he's just like, I think I'm done with princes and all of this. And I don't think he ever wanted to be a knight for this. He wanted to be a knight to protect the innocent, and all of this destruction, everything that he's caused. He's just like, I don't even know if it's worth it. Another thing I wanted to point out was the fact that a lot of people thought that for some reason, it's ambiguous whether he was actually knighted or not. I don't think he's been knighted. I think they make it very clear. I know Ira Parker did come out today saying that, or the other day saying that, we're going to leave it up to the audience to think that whether he's actually knighted or not. And we get that little scene where Sir Alan kind of like pretends to die for a couple of seconds and then comes back and all of that. And I think for me, I think it's pretty obvious he hasn't been knighted, because if he was knighted, he would have knighted Fossaway, and he was so hesitant to do so. That's why Baratheon had to do it. But I think he never got knighted. He never reached that potential yet, and he's just doing this job, and he's trying to be the best person he can. And maybe we'll find out why Sir Alan never knighted him in season 2, which cannot come any faster. But I hope it shows up next year, same time, because absolutely incredible. I'm so excited for season 2. And uh Yeah, but going back to that, and then at the end of the episode, we see that they're reunited. Egg runs away clearly, again, and becomes a squire, but lies to Dunk, which I think will have repercussions again. Egg being a smart man, knowing what he's doing, he's taking the risk again of doing that, and I think that might backfire on him in season two. But also him knowing so well and how wise he is about the nine kingdoms when it's not seven kingdoms, but the nine kingdoms of Westeros and all of that. And then them changing it to the Knight of the Nine Kingdoms. Again, it's just showing how smart Egg really is and how genius he is and how well versed he is in this lore and everything. He knows a lot more than he's showing, and it's showing that he is probably one of the smartest people in Westeros. So again, genius level acting, genius level writing, genius level everything. Like it's just beautiful. And then I think what really hits you is the fact that when they're all riding off together, you see Sir Alan on his horse, and he gives away the white horse to Fossaway. And I think the reason why he gives it away is because he's finally ready to let go of Sir Alan and become his own knight. Um, because he used Sir Alan for so long as a kind of like a crutch to help him get through it. Now he's cemented himself as he feels probably as a proper knight, and he's ready to become his own knight and create his own story instead of following in the footsteps of his predecessor. And you see Sir Alan, riding away to the left where they keep going straight, and Dunk looks back and sees him walking away. And I don't know, you don't get to see him smile, but I'm pretty sure he's relieved that he's on his own way and now he's on his own path as well. So it ends there, and again, one of the most beautiful shows I've seen in such a long time. I think the best spin-off Game of Thrones has ever given us. Um, I know I say that because and I know it might ruffle some feathers, but like I think House of Dragons is a good show. Don't get me wrong, but the inconsistency with I think the seasons, but also some of the character developments, and somehow sometimes like it's a lot of just too unnecessary BS that happens in the show where it's just too much talking, or it's just like too much this, too much that, and there's not enough action, or it's not enough to engage you. I think that's why this show is so much more better, because within 30 minutes they give us, I think, an hour's worth of content, and they present it in such a way where it makes you feel something, and you can resonate with these characters, and you understand these characters' motivations. You see where these characters come from. So again, beautifully done. I'm super excited for season two. I really hope it comes or it ends up being made much more faster. I think they've seen the hype for it. I think they understand that people want this show, people need this show. So I hope that they continue to build on the show. I really love the idea that they might be doing 4 seasons while they're at this age, and then they're going to come back after 10 years, do another 4 to 5 seasons, and then another 10. Like they want to grow with the show, and I think that's a genius idea, and I think the way that they're going to be able to capitalize on Dexter's amazing acting, and I really hope Hollywood casts him on so much more than this. Like this kid deserves an amazing career, and so does Matt. Absolutely phenomenal Duncan. Um, I hope they cast him in a lot more other stuff, and I think the way to capitalize on this kid is just let him be himself and let him grow with the show. Like, don't take 2 to 3 years. Keep pumping out seasons as much as you can, and let us grow with him, because I think he would do such an amazing job. Um, Progressing the character, I guess, in that sense, like, building that character's lore and everything as he grows up, because as he grows up, he's getting older and he's getting much more wiser, and he's understanding. And if he can act like this at this age, I can only imagine what he's going to do when he gets older. So again, phenomenal job. Shout out to HBO. Amazing job. I'm super excited for season two. I know this was a long review. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll definitely catch you on the next one. I will try to be more consistent. I do apologize. And yeah, yeah, I guess that's about it, guys. I'll catch you on the next one, and have a good day. Bye.